Hey and welcome. We're still here at Kmart Tire and Auto in Merrylands. We've just done the video on the Simposer Delete, and now we're moving on to the Mountune Mudflaps. So as you can see, they're made by Rally Armour, made in the US. We'll also be having a look at what tyres I've got. So all the wheels are off. I thought I'd take the opportunity to do these. So in the box we've got instructions, important. We'll see how much I have to refer to them. I've watched a lot of videos, but yeah, probably have to keep referring back to that. We've got our 3D printed brackets, so these help line up the front mud flaps on the inner guard. So yeah, we'll go through everything, how to install it. And then inside, this is all of our mounting hardware for the front and rears. And then we've got the mud flaps themselves, which are pretty well packaged. They're spaced with butcher's paper, so they don't get scratched in transit, but they're going to look great. So it's nearly my turn on the hoist and the alignment machine, so let's get to it. So the car's up on the hoist now, it's time to start. What I've done first is separate all of the parts that I need. So here we've got the rears and all the mounting hardware. You get a little diagram of everything that you need for front and rear. And then this is all what we need for the fronts, and we've got the front as well. So the guys are going to chuck these on, and we'll try and follow the process as we go. Step one is to remove the inner guard cap here for the side skirt. It's literally just, you pop out the little clip where the hole is. You can do that with a flathead screwdriver. That's a T20 Torx bit, so you just need to unscrew that because it screws into the top here, and there's another clip here that you just pop out. I'm just doing this, can't do this really step by step because I don't want to get in the guy's way. Yeah, I don't want to be in the workshop while they're working, but yeah, I'll just go through it like this, step by step, so that you can see what's been done and how it was done. I'll explain. So the next step is to pull this out and attach. There was already a foam spacer here, but we've got a thicker one in the kit, so we'll attach it in the same spot, and then we refit this back behind the lip of the inner guard there. So that'll just push it just that way a little bit, so that when we fit the 3D brackets here, it'll be the right spacing. So next step, clear all that shit out that was hiding down in there. So we've got our sticky pad just in here behind, and now just up in here we've got our little poly clip. The instructions make all this complete sense. So got a little poly clip, it's got a little hole in there that this first clip was in. So you just make sure it all lines up so you can get your clips back in. Next step is to put a little bracket on here with a clip and clip this one back in as well. But you don't put the screw bit back in this one, because now we're going to line up all the brackets and go from there. So I'll show you that once that's done. So before they start, you've got a clip that looks like this with a screw in it. You've got to take the screw out, and that's going to go in this, for this bracket. So like you can see on the instructions here, the furthest clip in that you took out, this will go in there, and then the bracket goes over like that, and then you screw one of these screws goes in. So we'll let the guys do that and then I'll show you what it looks like. So the little push clip that the plastic screw came out fits in that existing hole, and then you get the screw, feed it through the bracket, screw it in, it's only loose, and then you put one of your poly clips on here and that'll give you a bit of a way of adjustment as well. So I think next is the big brackets. So we'll let the guys crack on and I'll come back. Alright, so your next step, we've got the brackets, we've got your existing side skirt cap. You get a short screw and a washer, feed it through the existing hole in the side skirt cap, and then you just line it all up. And that's going to screw in there, and then you leave these loose so that you've got way of adjustment. You don't tighten anything until the very end. So this is what it'll look like. You use your original, the T20 Torque screw that was in here. They're just a plastic screw, so don't over tighten it. You've got this bracket is going all the way behind, and you'll see a loop here that this goes through, and again, don't over tighten. And then you've got your bracket. One important thing to note is when you're trying to fit this side skirt cap, just underneath there's this little section here. Just make sure that that's on the underside of the side skirt so that this can all fit up nice and snug again. Otherwise you'll find it's sitting quite a bit off, but you want it to fit as close to factory as you can, even with this bracket here. Alright, let's crack on. So we've got two pieces to our spacer for the fronts. Basically you just line them up, push these in together. They're just a little clip with a push, like a push screw. And then what you've got to do, you line this up to here, how it's going to sit against the side skirt cap and the guard. And you can maybe see in there how it's a bit moulded, so it sits nicely with the guard. And then when you're back in here, you keep that alignment and you drill your 3 holes, and that's what's going to mount that spacer to the inner guard. And then we can start fitting up mud flaps. Alright, so we've got one side fitted up, just needs all tightening up. So it's all lined up all right. And then we can line it up again once the tyres are fitted. Did run into a small problem on the other side. So one of these has snapped off, they're just tack welded on. One of them snapped off. I wasn't overly tightening this, but it snapped off, so we're going to improvise, drilled a 6mm hole, we're going to get some bolts and feed it through and do it that way. Alright, looks like I bought one. So after our quick fix, we got a nice gold nut on the end of the bolt. That didn't really affect how it fits, maybe just a little bit at the top, but you're not really going to notice that. Well, you all will now because I just showed you. But you know, you've got the spacer bracket in. These are all bolted up and not too tight. But yeah, I'll tighten this one up. But we've got it fitted up. So now I'll leave the guys and they can do the rears, and we'll follow that one too. Alright, onto the rears now. So step one, there's these clips, there's one here and one down here. We've got to take them out, and then we've got to pull the inner guard out here, and there's some clips that we need to put in. And then there's a little rivet down here at the bottom. We need to drill that out with an 8mm drill bit. So let the guys do that. So we've got these clips. You've got to pop the inner part out so that you've just got this, and I'll show you what the guys have done. We've got these S clips pointing sort of down a bit, and this one pointing up a bit. They're just on existing sort of little knobs here that the original clips came out of. And then these bits go in here where they drill the 8mm hole. So you just push that in and repeat on the other side. So you get it all lined up so it looks like this. You've got 2 long screws and washers on the Mountune, on the back of the mud flap, and then on the Mountune side you'll have the large spacer in the middle, the small spacer at the top, and you'll have a foam round sticky pad right there. And that's mounted to the back of the bracket. And then that's how they go on the car. So the ears have been a bit of a pain. Just so that you know, we've got a long screw or washer, the mud flap. Behind that is the bracket, and then the small short spacer just in behind there. And then that goes into the S-clip that we attached on the inner guard. We've pulled the inner guard out forward. Here we've got a long screw washer mud flap long bracket, and then that goes into the S clamp that's behind there now. This is our push clip from before, so that's in nice and tight. And then we've got a short screw, a washer mud flap bracket, and you can see through there we've got the clamp. So that's it. Let's take a look at what it looks like.